Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Emma One from GMS London Forecasters. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kudash, Barakatah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And Thawala Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai for allowing me to do this lesson. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the brothers out there still in the work of the Lord, man. Excuse me. Just clear my throat. So I just want to get into this this parable, man. The wheat and the tares, man. The wheat and the tares, yeah. The reason being, I saw this guy. He's popped up a few times on social media, and he likes to tell jokes. He looks like a Jake, and we're gonna get to the point, man. But obviously he's not, and he looks like a Jake, right? But he's telling all these jokes that are, what would be deemed racist towards so-called black people, man. Towards Jakes. And when you look at the people that are supporting him and the people that are laughing at the jokes, saying, it's only joke, he's only joking. It's all Edomites, man. It's all Edomites, right? Because that's what they're about. Their true nature. Their true nature always comes out. You don't see any Jakes on there, supporting him, man, because they don't find it funny what he's saying. And at first, I didn't know that he wasn't a Jake, man. All right, but I saw a video of him, and he said, he's basically saying that his jokes can't be racist because his mum is Nigerian and his dad is white. That's what so-called white, as we say. So therefore, and you can tell through the spirit, of course, he's an Edomite, man. Hence the reason why he gets such pleasure in telling these jokes, right? And hence the reason why he has this connection. Doesn't it strike him why? It doesn't even strike him as to why that when he looks at his comment section, that all the people that are laughing and finding it all amusing are Edomites, man, or so-called white people, as he would call them. That doesn't strike him weird, man. And he's trying to make it out like he's just joking, but really that's his spirit coming out. That's his true spirit coming out. All right, he can't help it. He's an Edomite. All right, the scripture says, the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children or the sons of the Most High Yahweh. Right? That's Acts. Let me just think of that. Where's that Acts? See if I can find it. That's Acts 8 and 16, is it? 8 and 16. No. Let me just see if I can find it. So Romans 8 and 16, not Acts. Romans 8 and 16. Romans 8 and 16, I'll read it. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children or the sons of the Most High Yahweh. Right? And if children or sons, then heirs of Yahweh, and joint heirs with Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. Right? So the true sons of the Most High, the Israelites, the sons of the Most High have, they are heirs with Yahweh Shai for the kingdom, man, and the glory, and everything else that comes along with it. All right? But the Edomites are set for destruction, man. So let's go back to Matthew 13. Where is it? Right, yeah. So let me read this. In fact, before I read this, I'm going to show you a picture, man, as to why the parable is about wheat and tares. As you can see, the wheat, right, and tares, before the wheat is ripened, they look the same, man. All right, they look identical, as this picture says. But the tares bear no, they don't bear anything. They don't bear any. They don't bear wheat. All right. You know, the wheat. You know, you can't make flour from it and all of that. It's not edible. It's not, you can't consume it, man. It's basically useless. All right, but it looks the same as the wheat, man. All right, so it's almost like it's telling you that the tares are in disguise, man. They're not trying to, but they're looking like something that they're not. All right, so let's read this. All right, so Matthew 13:24 says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, this is Yahushua talking to the disciples, right? It says, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So that sowing of the tares, man, is Edomites, man, coming in and basically seeding Israelite women, man, right? See, because the seed is what carries on the generations, man. It carries on the bloodline, all right? You know, whatever seed a man puts into a woman is what comes out. So a Chinaman, you know, has sexual relations with, let's say, what should I say? Let's say, let's just say an Edomite woman, all right? Let's just put it like that. You know, what do you think is going to come out? It's going to be a Chinese baby of origin. Its origin will be Chinese. Its bloodline will be Moabite, all right? Moab, I should say, all right? Which is the true name for the nation, or the Chinese nation, I should say, right? So, you know, you check it out through like the times of slavery and whatnot. You know, these Edomites, man, were running up in, you know, basically, you know, forcing themselves upon our women, all right, and producing Edomite babies, man, that look like Jake babies, man, and then putting those Jake babies into you know, captivity also, and they're growing up believing that they're Jakes, man, or Israelites. But really, they are Edomites, all right. So, and also it's happening all the time anyways, not just in the times of slavery. It's been happening ever since, and even more so in these days, right? Even more so, you know, especially the way our women have very little respect. The majority of, not all of them, but the majority of our women have very little respect for us as Israelite men, and find that other nations, especially the Edomites, or the Edomite men, to be more desirable men. Because the Edomite man holds the power on this earth, and as Israelite men, we don't have the power right now. All right. So it says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared tares also. So you got all these mixed, you know, these you know, babies that are coming up, and you'll find that the understanding is the understanding is lacking in society. You know, even the tares don't understand that, because what their father is, they are what their father is, man. You know, Numbers 1:18 tells you that. In fact, we might as well just get that. So Numbers 1:18 says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigree pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names. All right. So it goes through the father. The bloodline goes through the father, man. Yeah, basic biology tells you that the sperm is what grows, um is what's basically fertilized, right? You know, the egg. The woman has the egg, and the woman only has a certain amount of eggs, and they only last for a certain amount of time, man. Whereas a man's seed, he always carries that. So we grow from that. You know, the word seed, in fact, comes from the Greek word sperma. All right. In fact, as I said it, you know, there's no point just saying it. Might as well get it. Right. So first off, let's get this. So it says that which may be sown an individual grain of seed, offspring, right? Offspring. You know, offspring, progeny, rare now except in biblical use, meaning semen, right? So let's get the word sperm, right? Quickly. Right, so male seminal fluid, and directly from late Latin, sperma, sorry, Latin. Oh, and Greek, seed, semen, from Greek sperma, the seed of plants, also of animals, literally that which is sown, all right? So here we have it. So seed, sperma, sperm, all the same, all right? Anyway, back into the scriptures, man. So, yeah, Matthew 13. Where was I? All right. So it says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So you got a lot of, like I was saying, you got a lot of Edomites that look like us running around calling themselves so-called black people, not understanding, you know, that it's not about who your mother is, like the big hats, you know, the JOOs like to say. It's not about your mother, it's through your father, all right, as we just read in Numbers. It says, so the servants of the householder came unto him, came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, an enemy hath done this. And who's the enemy, man? The enemy of Israel is Edom, Esau, Edom. All right, and that's been from the womb. All right. It says, the servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Right? So basically, we are not here to decide who, when we see them, really. You know, we can say through the Spirit, as we read in Romans 8 and 16, right? You can tell things through the Spirit, but it's not our job to separate the wheat from the tares, man. All right? Because, you know, it's basically just not our job. So let's read why. It says, let both grow together until the harvest, right? And the harvest is what? When Yahushua comes back, man, to redeem his chosen, right? That's the 144,000 and those that believe on the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? Right, scattered amongst all nations, by the way. All right, and it's also, you know, so you got two sides to this. You've got Israelites that don't look like Israelites, and non-Israelites that look like Israelites, right? So it says, let both grow together until the harvest. You know, when Yahushua comes back, that's the harvest, man. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, which are going to be the elect, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn, right? So that's the gathering of the wicked Edomites, man, for destruction, man. All right. It says, but gather the wheat unto my barn. So that's the redemption right there, man. That's that time of making it on those chariots, man, being caught up in the air with Yahweh Shai, right? So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to think that they're part of our nation, and there's some now. I've seen them on social media, you know, and there are a lot of the times, yeah, through the Spirit I say this, they are the ones that are denying, who can be saved and whatnot, man, or denying parts of the scriptures, man. They might deny Yahweh Shai, they might deny, the other nations, it's like or the other tribes, I should say. But there's a lot of it's becoming more evident, and it's becoming more evident also that Israel is amongst the other nations as well. When I see a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are so-called Chinese, Japanese, that have that spirit of Jake, man. Edomites also, Salakia, so people that look like Edomites, I should say, with the spirit of Jake, man. And we always say you can't fake Jake, man. All right, you can't fake that. The scriptures say that ye are the salt of the earth, man, or we are the salt of the earth, right? Meaning what we bring the flavor, all right. And there's not a nation out there that isn't part of our. There's not a people out there, I should say, that isn't a part of our nation that can be like us. All right, it's impossible. They don't have our spirit. So I'm just gonna get one more piece here in Obadiah. Where is it? And I'm gonna jump. It's like actually no. I'm gonna get that in a minute. Let me get Isaiah 11:11, right? Just to make a point. I'll start from 10. It says, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And that root of Jesse is obviously Yahweh Shai, right? And those Gentiles, the scriptures talk about Gentiles, man. It talks about the Gentiles among the Gentiles, man. Those people that are living amongst the other nations, the Hellenized, man, but if you will, because they're living as the other nations live, speaking their languages with their customs and whatnot. It says, and in that day, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea, right? So basically, it's not going to mention every island and every country on the planet, but it's showing you that these are names of the other nations, yet our people are going to be redeemed from those places, man. Why? Because they're really our people. It says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So the four corners of the earth, for you silly flat earthers out there, does not mean that the earth is flat or there's actually four corners. It just means from every part of the, you've covered that. When you have four corners when you talk about four corners of a room, you're covering the whole area of a room. That's what it means. That's not telling you, as I've seen some fools try to claim, that it means that there's actually four corners to the earth, or the earth is flat. It's just a side note. Anyway, let's jump back to Obadiah, and I'll close out here. So it says, Obadiah verse 18, it says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So basically, Jacob, and the house, the whole of Israel is going to be that flame that's going to destroy, that destroying power given by Yahweh Shem Yahshua, that's going to destroy the Edomites, man. It says, and they shall kindle them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So, there's a saying, not all skin folk is kinfolk, right? And that's a good saying, man. And there's two meanings to that. It means that there's a lot of our people who are what might be called sellouts, man. But then also, there's a lot of people who look like our people who aren't our people, man. Right? There's these other nations, man. These heathen nations. And this isn't for them. This is only for the Israelites, right? So with that, I'm going to close out and give all the praises once more to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kakodash. So what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for allowing me to do this lesson. And I pray that it was edifying. And with that, I'll say Shalom.